Who will make the playoffs in the NFC? Please not the 49ers. Please not the 49ers. Please not the 49ers. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. The 49ers don't scare me during the regular season. Grossi, and today we are going to be taking a look, taking a gander, making a prediction as to which 7 teams are going to make it to the playoffs from the NFC. And this probably is going to be the easiest video considering the AFC is next. And honestly, with that conference, who the hell knows? Before we get to that, I want to do a big shout and thank you to some brand new patron and YouTube members. First on the Patreon side of things, we have Godzilla, God. We got T Cuddle Shark. We have Andrew. We got Christian Ratke. We have Brandon Thompson. We have Brenton Malden, we have Caroline Slack, and Rebecca Rowe. A big shout out and thank you to you all. And over on the YouTube side of things, we have Kyle Donovan, Wisconsin Whiskey, Drafty's Football, Christiana, and Michael McNutt. A big shout out and thank you to you all. So as you know, there are 7 spots for teams to enter the playoffs from each conference. You have the 4 division winners, which will then be ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 3 other teams. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through, talk about which teams I think are going to win the division, and then we'll get down talking about those wild card spots. So starting off with number 1. Now, this is not necessarily who I think is going to win the number 1 overall seed, but I do think the Green Bay Packers are going to win their division. I know, shocker. Everybody was surprised by that. Everybody. But considering the Packers are likely to have a top 10 defense, and I still think will have a top 15 offense, the Packers are still primed to win their division. The Bears are probably going to struggle this year. The Lions, I think, are going to be a bit more competitive, but I don't think they're going to be a playoff contending team. And the other team they really have to deal with is the Vikings, which brand new head coach, you never know how that's going to go. And plus, Kirk Cousins is their QB, so you know how that is. So the Packers have a really good chance to win their division. I think that they'll definitely clinch a playoff spot, and they'll either be ranked 1 through 4. Following that, looking at the NFC West, I got the Rams taking this division. Obviously, the Seahawks are rebuilding, or whatever you want to call what they're doing in Seattle. On top of that, the San Francisco 49ers, I think, are going to be very competitive. I'm going to talk about them. They have a chance to make a wild card spot. And then for the Cardinals, it's kind of a mixed bag. Yes, you have Hollywood Brown getting arrested for excessive speeding, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. But the bigger thing is the fact that DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be there for the first 6 games. I think the Cardinals could be good, but I think losing their best receiver for the first 6 games might be tough. And I don't even know if they're going to be a playoff team considering they just keep on collapsing midseason. So with that, I think the Rams will win their division. Following the NFC South, I think this one is decently easy. While I do think the Saints are a potential playoff team, I think the Buccaneers are going to win this division. Their defense should still be good. Chris Godwin, whenever he returns back from injury, should be great. Mike Evans and the addition of Julio Jones, if he could even stay moderately healthy, the offense should still be clicking. So the Buccaneers should be able to win that division. And finally, for division winners, I have the Cowboys winning the East. However, I would not be surprised if it was the Eagles, because I think the Eagles have greatly improved. I think it's just going to depend on Jalen Hurts. The reason why I'm picking the Cowboys is because you have standouts like Micah Parsons, and their defense was pretty darn good. They also did just add Anthony Barr, but you look at that offense, and Zeke, we'll see if he's going to be able to rebound from injury, but you do have Tony Pollard, and while they did lose Amari Cooper, Dak should still be able to put up really good numbers with receivers like CeeDee Lamb. So then going down to our 5, 6, and 7 spot, this is where things get a little bit tricky. So my first team that I'm going to pick here is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles have a really great chance to win their division just because that offense has gotten much better. Of course, A.J. Brown getting added to the mix is going to be very potent for that offense. They were the number 1 rushing team in football last year, and that defense should be pretty darn good. I absolutely love what they did in the draft. So the Eagles, I think, are primed to make a playoff spot. That team will go as far as Jalen Hurts, I think, will take them. But even if Jalen Hurts just plays average, I think they have the run game and the defense to still make a playoff run. Then the 6th team, I got the Minnesota Vikings breaking their 2-year playoff drought. Here's the reason why. I think new head coach, should make some nice changes. Mike Zimmer was just known for being a super conservative play caller, sticking with the run, hard-nosed defense, but that kind of fell apart when they really didn't have a defense, and plus Dalvin Cook also got injured. But looking at that offense, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith Jr. if he's healthy, and of course Dalvin Cook, that offense should be very potent. Kirk Cousins, I give him a lot of crap, but he is an above average QB. His stat line is always pretty darn good. So just off the offense alone, I think they should be able to make the playoffs. If that defense is any better than it was last year, which is a really low bar to clear, I think that they could be a playoff contending team. And for the final spot, it's between two teams. It's between the San Francisco 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. And I have to say, this is difficult. Part of me is leaning towards the 49ers because that defense should still be good. That offense, especially utilizing that run game, should still be really good. They re-signed Deebo Samuel. They didn't really lose too many pieces. But again, you do have to deal with a relatively newish QB in Trey Lance, and that could be some cause for concern, seeing how quickly he adapts to the game. Meanwhile, you look at the New Orleans Saints, I think their defense has a potential to be a top 10 unit this year. Though I will say, we don't know what's going to happen with Alvin Kamara. I know that his hearing got pushed another few months, so we don't know if he's going to get suspended. On top of that, Jameis Winston, how is he recovering from his injury? And Michael Thomas, he seems to be practicing well, so that's a good thing. But if Michael Thomas is healthy, him, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, and Alvin Kamara, if he's playing, that offense could be really, really good, and Jameis Winston just needs to be serviceable. So this is a pretty tough call. So barring any setback, I'm going to give the very, very slight edge to the New Orleans Saints. While this is probably going to come back and bite me, and I do think the 49ers most definitely can be a playoff contending team, I think barring any setbacks, Jameis Winston should be ready to go week 1. And the 49ers, it's just going to come down to Trey Lance. The rest of that offense and Shanahan, I totally believe in. I believe in that defense. They are in a little bit of a tougher division, while the Saints, they get to play the Panthers and the Falcons, so the level of competition is definitely lesser. So because of that, I think the Saints might be able to get like 1 or 2 more wins than the 49ers. So just based off that alone, I'm going to have the Saints take the last spot. So to recap, the 7 teams I have making the NFC playoffs are the Packers, Rams, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Vikings, Eagles, and Saints. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think there could be any other teams that are going to sneak on in there? Let me know what you think. You can always send me at TomGrossiComedy.com or TomGrossiComedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.